Welcome to Animal Football Insider, your weekly look into the happenings of your Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Florida Gators, and all things related to football. And now, from West Des Moines, Iowa, here's your host, The Animal.
A busy day in the world of football as you're showing the animal coming at you on a beautiful, cold, sunny day, but the weather's cold here in Des Moines, Iowa. But in some other parts of the country, especially down south, it's getting mighty hot, especially if you're down in Gator country. We're going to talk all about that as we get you set up for this weekend with college football. The boys here, they're off this weekend, but they haven't come without a lot of news and happenings with that situation. Now, Shane Matthews is expected to join me a little bit later on here in the show. We have some technical issues, but hopefully he'll be able to join us by phone here in just a couple of minutes. But where do we begin? As always, at the very top with these boys right here, my beloved Fighting Florida Gators. You know, they came into Saturday afternoon's opponent in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, expecting to take on the once mighty and powerful LSU Fighting Tigers, who've gone by the wayside in the last couple of years. Now, throw that into consideration that LSU is going through some troubles on their own, and you get the feeling that maybe, just maybe, the Florida Gators will be able to pull out a win and get things back on track. Did not happen by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, if anything, it has caused more questions than answers to come up as we get ready for what's going to be a very interesting 2 weeks. As now they get ready to take on the Florida Gators. 49-42 was the final score in the ball game, and in that ball game, it wasn't pretty at all. As I get ready to pull up the stats, well, I'll read you the stats here that I have right now. As for the Florida Gators, the defense was just very horrible on the afternoon. If I can pull this up here in just a minute, I'll get the numbers for you because the LSU rushing game was just awesome, while the Florida Gator defensive rushing team was just horrible, maybe abysmal. Whatever you want to call it, it was just not a very good day to be a Florida Gator. As their top running back, Tyrion Davis-Price, ran for 287 yards on 36 carries and scored 3 touchdowns on the afternoon. It caused for a lot of problems for the Florida Gator defense, making it even more probable that their defensive coordinator, Todd Grantham, may not be back in the following season. I'll say hello to my good friend Adam Neff, who's joined me. And if you want to make comments in the chat room, please do. And if you got questions for Shane, post them in the chat room as well, and we'll cover that as well. And of course, Adam, of course, wants to say that Florida's defense can't be bad as Mizzou. Let's see here. 328 yards rushing. LSU threw for 133 yards passing. Okay. That's for what? 420 over nearly 475 yards against its Florida Gator defense. This just in. The Florida Gators are not a very good defensive team, and it's caused a lot of problems. And what happens going forward, that's going to be an interesting story, to say the least. So we're waiting for Shane Matthews to come on board. I'm going to do something here and log into my Facebook page. So you might get an echo here, and I apologize for that. So let me do this here real quick, just for a minute, because there may be people that want to chime in. Michigan's defense, as Adam Neff would say, is getting up 30-plus points per game. And it'll be interesting to see the stats of what their the Florida Gator defense is giving up in the process. My good friend Lucas Mean, who is a Gator fan just like me, has the ear and the knowledge of the Florida Gators. He's been on with us before. He joins us again from Gainesville, Florida, and Adam, as we get ready to bring you on here on the show, Florida Gators are not looking good at all. And as they enter the game against Georgia, I don't expect them to get much better.
No, I don't either. But the fan of me wants them to win, but I just don't see it.
And a lot of the problems stem from the fact of Todd Grantham and the way he runs the defense. I mean, this LSU team, they kept running the same plays over and over again, and the Gator defense just did not have a stop for them at all.
I know, right? You would think after one play we would be able to stop them, but no, we had to we couldn't get one goddamn stop on the same goddamn play. Pardon my language, but
Well, yeah, I understand. Sure, it does. I mean, it does get frustrating. It does. People on Twitter are just mad as all get out over what's happened. You know, and I get it. I get the frustration. And even as Dan Mullen said this week in the SEC conference call, he's not ready to make any changes with Todd Grantham, which people will get upset by the comments about that. But you know what? Lucas? As you go back and you look at that, I tend to wonder what good is it going to do to make a defensive staff change at this point in the season?
if I were Mullen, I would wait till the end of the year.
Well, and I get that. I get that what they're saying about wanting to wait till the end of the year, and I'll tell you what. I think the reason behind that is because I think they have somebody in mind. I think that for Dan Mullen and the way this defense have gone, I think it leads to the.
If you look at, I don't mean to cut you off, but if you look at Mullen's track record, it's been somebody he's comfortable with, or somebody he has worked with in the past.
Right, and I'm gonna do something here real quick. Because I'm posting a message to somebody here. See if we can't get him to come on. Len Tyndall, who's an avid Florida Gator fan, who I love a lot. There you go, Len Tyndall. So I'm going to see if we can get Len to come on and talk a lot about this Florida Gator team. And as Len points out, he says it, and I'll post it here. Todd is gone. University of Florida had to wait out the contract, which leads to the story that came out a few days ago. And let's kind of tell the people let's let the people know what we're talking about. University of Florida at the end of last season Dan Mullen wanted to go ahead and break the contract with Todd Grantham and wanted him to be let go. In the course of that deliberation, Scott Strickland stepped in and said, no, it was not going to happen, subsequently leaving Todd Grantham to play for another year. Now, we don't know the credibility to this story. I even heard today from a very good friend of mine. Wait a minute. I heard from a very good friend of mine who has a very good tie-in with the Florida Gators that they don't think that Todd Grantham is going to be back. I don't think he's going to be back either, Lucas. And I truly believe that this could be something.
This could be.
Go ahead.
I don't think he's. I don't. If you think about it, his contract is up at the end of the season. I don't think he's going to be back either.
No. I don't see any way for him to be back. With the way the recruits, with the way things have been handled with this Florida Gator team, with the way that I'm still waiting for a call from Shane. Nothing yet, but hopefully he'll call in a few minutes. But you know, you know what? I wonder if I can do this. And for those that are familiar with StreamYard, if you have StreamYard, let's see here. Um, and you know, Len just said something here. And by the way, anybody has access to StreamYard, please send me a message because I may want to try and do something here. Len makes a comment. He says, Strickland's smart. We came off of a COVID season with no money revenue off ticket sales in the middle of a $190 million facility being built. And you know what? Looking at it from that standpoint with the COVID and everything that went on, I kind of agree with Len. You know, I can see Strickland's point of not letting Grantham walk. I mean, you would have to pay what $2 million to buy him out of the contract. Yeah, the money would have been worth it, but in a time which COVID was building and everything, I can see Strickland's reason for not letting him go. Subsequently, this has happened, and now we're seeing it from the recruiting front, which is your expertise. We lost a recruit this week. Go into more
A
details.
top-rated guy,
The
a top-rated
forward
guy in the class.
Go ahead and
He's
tell
a
for the
top-rated.
viewers. Go ahead for the viewers.
He's
Tell them who we're talking about.
his name is Shamar James. He's a 4-star linebacker, top-rated recruit in the class. He picked us over Alabama. He's an Alabama kid. People are saying that he might end up at Georgia. He took 2 visits there, so I think he's gonna end up at Georgia. As they say, the rich get richer.
Yeah, and it's a bit. It is indeed a big loss for the recruiting class. And there's no mistake about it. Len goes on to say, why pay buyouts? And keep this in mind: the defense hasn't thrown 11 picks. Yeah, I mean, you know, when we're not trying to sit and pin all this on Todd Grantham. I mean, the offense has had its share of problems during the course of the season. But you know, when you have a running back that can run for what, as we said before, nearly 300 yards, and this defense is unable to stop him, it tells you one of two things: either your defensive coaching staff is not running the right defensive formations, or the fact that our recruits that we have are not who they thought they were. And I'm not trying. I'm not trying to lay the blame at Dan Mullen and everything. I'm a Dan Mullen fan. I love Dan Mullen. I love what he brings to the game and all. But one of those two things is happening. Personally, I think we have the recruits that can do some very good things. But when you have a running back that's running the same play 7 or 8 times, unable to stop him.
We have to, I don't mean to cut you
Go,
off,
go
but
ahead.
we have to bring in better recruiters and better coaches.
Yep,
We have
and
to
that's
bring in
what we
better
have to
recruits
do.
and better coaches.
There you go, and I totally agree with you on that. Lucas Mann joins me here in this edition of the Animal Football Insider. I'm going to hold you off here for now because I have a guy here on my telephone lines right now who is a great guy, one of the best Florida Gator fans I think I've come to at least know, not personally, but know. But that may change in Columbia. We'll talk about that in a little bit. I'm going to put you on mute, Lucas, and we'll be back with you in just a few minutes. Shane Matthews, former Florida quarterback. He hosts Shane in the what's it called? Shane in the morning. Is that right?
Caught up with Matthews in the morning. That's it.
Podcast with Matthews in the morning. He has great guests. It's on Facebook Live. He does an excellent job. Shane, thank you so much for taking time out to join me here today. And as we come to you here tonight, things are not looking good with this Florida Gator team. And as we were talking about a few minutes ago, things definitely need to change.
Yeah, we're just not a very good football team overall right now. It's amazing how everybody thought we were a pretty good team after the Alabama loss, but things have kind of spiraled in the wrong direction since then.
What happened, Shane? I mean, this team looked very good after that Alabama game. Did it get to the kids' heads? Did the defense just become lackadaisical? Or is it the scheme that these guys are running?
I don't know if you can put a finger on anything. We didn't play great offensively against Kentucky. Played pretty decent defensively, and then LSU, we just got manhandled at the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. I know everybody wants to make a quarterback change, which I understand, but I think there's bigger problems at other positions than the quarterback, and I personally think they need to make some position changes on defense.
Yeah, I think that's the only way that we're going to see it happen. Shane Matthews, color analyst for the Florida Gators. I'm going to get into that conversation here in just a minute because I know you do a great job with that. But we say changes on defense. Are we talking about in terms of personnel? Are we talking about in terms of coaching staff? Is it a little bit of both, do you think?
Well, I mean, everybody wants to blame Todd Grantham, and I understand, but he's had a pretty good track record of being a good defense coordinator his whole career. I just don't think we have great personnel defensively right now. I don't think we have SEC quality players, and I went back and watched the tape. LSU you can blame it on schemes and blame it on this, that, and the other, but playing defense is about shedding blockers and making tackles.
Right.
And if you go back and watch that tape, they blocked the hell out of us. Nobody shed any blocks, and we didn't play very hard. And I just think if kids aren't playing hard and not doing their responsibility, not making plays, why not give somebody else another chance? And that's why I think too many fans want to focus on the quarterback because that's the most important position. But there's a lot of other positions that probably need some changes in my opinion.
What's happened with Emory? I mean, he looked so good in the beginning, and he looked so great. And then I think it was the Kentucky game, he threw those interceptions, and ever since then, he's looked average. I mean, is it his confidence? Do you think he's lost some confidence?
I'm not sure. I mean, he's thrown quite a few interceptions, but that happens. He actually played pretty good in Kentucky, I thought. I mean, he didn't throw an interception. It wasn't a great decision, but the route wasn't great either. That didn't help the throw. And then, he had a couple of interceptions at LSU. We had 4 turnovers. That's the reason we lost the game. It's, people want to blame the defense. The defense only gave up 28 points. The offense gave 21 of their 49 because of turnovers. So, I don't know if Emory's lost confidence.
Right.
He's a decent player, but Anthony is extremely talented, and we haven't seen him play a whole lot. I saw him play a lot in high school, but I hadn't seen him play an entire game. But he's a guy that can make a lot of things happen when things break down.
Len Tendall, who's an avid Florida Gator fan, you see my buddy Martin's show through comments and such. He posts here and says, EJ's late on reads and releases. AR lets it go fast. Is that an adequate assessment, you think?
Well, it is. Emory is late, but if you go back and watch all the plays, for whatever reason, when Emory's in the game, it seems like Florida and Coach Mullen's trying to call the perfect play because everybody looks over to the sideline. And when you do that, they're looking at the defense and trying to figure out, okay, what are they in? What's the best play for that defense? When Anthony's in the game, it's like they call a play and they run it no matter what, because I don't think they want him thinking. And he makes plays. He's going to make some bad plays too. I hope people realize that.
Oh yeah.
But he's a talented kid, and he has an opportunity to be a really good player.
One of the things I'm really amazed at is the relationship that these two kids have, because it's like it doesn't seem like there's animosity between these two kids. They're willing to help each other out, whoever's in the game. And that's very rare to see these days.
It is, but you would be surprised at how many quarterbacks, whether you're the starter, backup, or whatever, battling for a job, how many are really good friends off the field. I mean, some of my closest friends are guys that I battled with, whether it was in college or in the NFL. So it's just it's a different position. You both realize how much pressure is on you, and I mean, obviously, you support one another.
Shane Matthews from Podcast in the Morning. He's also the radio analyst for the Florida Gator Radio Network and does the games on the road. Lucas Mann is one of my guests here tonight on the show. Lucas, do you have a question that you would like to ask Shane real quick? Oh, wait a minute, we don't have him. Hang on, buddy. Go ahead.
What do you think, besides position changes, could help the defense get better?
Lucas asked a question. What changes on defense do you think would need to be made?
Well, I don't know our personnel. I don't follow our defense a lot since I'm an offensive guy. I just know we got blocked.
Right.
The front seven got manhandled. And we didn't play great at the safety position either. So it's hard to talk about the corners. I think Kyrie Elam is a tremendous player.
Oh, fantastic. Oh, my gosh.
All I know is if you go back and you watch, we were like Velcro on a lot of – and you're taught the best thing to destroy counters and power plays, any gap scheme is penetration. Mm-hmm. And we got no penetration the entire day.
That's and I think you're right on that. And I don't know if it's these guys are not that good, or they just took LSU lightly. But nevertheless, more or less, we got our butts kicked at LSU. Dan Mullen was on a conference call this week on the SEC teleconference call. He said no changes were going to be made at the defensive. No staff changes were going to be made. And he hasn't decided yet on who's going to be the quarterback. People are angry about it, but by the same token, if I'm Dan Mullen, I'm not going to name my quarterback 10 days away from a big game in Jacksonville, right?
Yeah. I mean, Kirby's not dumb. Kirby knows they're both going to play. Maybe only one of them plays. We don't know, but they're pretty much. I mean, Georgia's game plan is going to be the same. They're going to try to take away as many quarterback runs as they possibly can, because that's what this offense is based off of. And we'll see. I don't think they need to make a coaching change personally. It does no good in the middle of the season. I don't even know who you would promote. Like I said, I know people are upset with coaches, and maybe it's the right thing to be upset with. But sometimes, like I said, people get upset with the quarterback. People need to get upset with the guys that are getting blocked.
Yeah, exactly. It's not just one man. It's everybody. As Lynn Tyndall says, we have weak linebackers that think that they are defensive end or safety, which I think that's a fair assessment of our defensive play. So now going forward, do you think these guys are? Do you think you see these guys playing with a more competitive fire since it's going to be against Georgia?
Well, I would hope so. I mean, I would hope they play hard every game. You only get to suit up X amount of times a year, and they'll be regretting it when they get older that they didn't play hard. So, it's a long shot. I mean, everything's got to happen perfectly. Georgia's going to have to turn the ball over a bunch, and we're going to have to play the best game we've ever played because they are that talented, and they're clearly the best team in America.
I was surprised, and really, you look at Kentucky; they have really been the surprise team of the SEC. I mean, we all thought, and I was thinking, oh man, we got beat by Kentucky. Are you kidding me? But the more you watch Kentucky, the more you say to yourself, this is one hell of a good football team.
Yeah, Kentucky's Mark Stoops has built that program, and he's got a lot of really good players on his team. Some really, really good talent. So, Kentucky has a chance to maybe go 11-1 this year, which has to be their best record of all time. I don't really know. I don't follow them that closely, but
I think so.
Kentucky's pretty good.
Okay. Shane Matthews from Shane in the Podcast in the Morning with Shane on Facebook Live. Catch him every morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Time, 7 a.m. Pacific Central Time. You took on added responsibility this year. You're now the radio analyst on the road when the Florida Gators play. Talk about how that came about.
They asked me in August if I'd be interested in doing it, and I was like, well, I don't have any experience doing it, but I'll give it a shot. And so, I'm 0 for 2 right now. We ain't won a game since I've done.
But you were fantastic. You knew exactly what you sound like a seasoned veteran up there, my friend. I mean, you were fantastic.
I have no background in like radio, I guess, because I didn't study that in college. But yeah, I mean, all I got to do is just kind of tell them what I think and what I see, and whether it's right or wrong. I'm supposed to try to paint a picture with people listening on the radio.
But my friend, you have a face for radio. That's what makes you so successful, you know?
That's right. That's exactly right.
It was such, and I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to be in Columbia, Missouri. So hopefully, when the team arrives, hopefully you and I can get together and we can chat for a few minutes. I'm extremely looking forward to that. What has been the biggest surprise for you, besides the Gators? What has been the biggest surprise that we have seen in college football this year?
I think the parity in college football, whether the transfer portals allowed that, but there's been tons of teams that have lost. I mean, Alabama's lost, Ohio State's lost, Oregon, all these teams that were supposed to be in the hunt. I just think a lot of teams are very similar to one another, and I think it's great for college football.
I think it's great too. I don't see any parity. I don't see anything wrong with parity. I think it's great. I've been so interested in the Florida Gators and following them. I haven't been following anybody else hardly. The LSU situation. Were you surprised by them letting him go before the Florida game? It's now we come to find out.
Yeah, I was surprised at that. I mean, I think everybody knew the writing was on the wall, just when would it happen. And most people would have thought it would have come towards the end of the year. But, gosh, give them credit. And what if they run off 4 or 5 wins? It would be unbelievable. They got a tough stretch with Ole Miss, A&M, Alabama, and Arkansas. They're probably going to lose them all, but you never know.
No, you never know. You never know. Speaking of Ole Miss, Matt Corral, Matt Corral just continues to impress me. I mean, he's just fantastic.
Yeah, he's clearly the best quarterback in the conference and maybe in the country. Can really throw the football, moves around a lot, probably runs a little too much, and that got him banged up this week or last week. But yes, he heck of a player and has a chance to win the Heisman Trophy.
Now, this is ironic that I get you on here. By the way, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I really do appreciate you coming on, joining me on the show. You're a quarterback that played with the Chicago Bears. Isn't it ironic that my Buccaneers get to play against your Chicago Bears? What was it like playing in Chicago in Soldier Field? I mean, that had to be.
Yeah, I mean, it was to be able to play for a franchise like the Chicago Bears, one of the best in the NFL, and with all the great history and tradition, and especially in that stadium, it was cool. I mean, I was blessed to get the opportunity, and I was there 7 of my 14 years, and played a little bit here, played a little bit there, and had some decent times and some bad games, but yeah, it was a great experience.
Was there ever? Did you ever feel overwhelmed with the history, like George Halas and company? Did that ever come a time where you were just feeling overwhelmed that you were playing for a team like that?
No, I wouldn't say overwhelmed. I mean, like I said, there's about 5 or 6 franchises in the NFL that, they have the same uniforms every year. Oh, they've had them the whole career. It's like the Steelers, the Raiders, the Bears, the Packers, Cowboys, those type franchises have been around for so long with great history.
Mm-hmm.
It was cool to be able to play for them.
Too bad you couldn't play for my Buccaneers. It would have been awesome, just amazing.
Well, they signed me for a training camp, for a right before the draft after I left the Redskins, and then they cut me after they drafted Chris Sims.
Them dirty rat. You know what? Hey, what can I tell you? Back to Florida here for just a minute here. Do you think the reason why Dan Mullen's not making a change now is because he has somebody in mind who he wants?
Well, if he made a change now, who do you promote?
I'm thinking Christian Robinson. But go ahead.
I don't know. I don't know if he's ever called a defense in his life. So,
okay.
It's not as easy as. I could be wrong. Maybe he has, but like you said, I don't think Todd Grantham's a bad defense coordinator. I know a lot of people do. Like I said, I think we need to give a couple other get kids opportunities to play and see if they can make us a little bit better on defense.
Diabate made a comment after the LSU game saying that we just go out and do our jobs and we are being told what to do. I know you heard the comment too. What were your thoughts when you heard that?
I didn't like those comments because, like I said, I've watched the tape. Your job on defense to shed blocks and make plays.
Gotcha.
And
okay.
I felt like we got blocked the entire day. It doesn't matter what scheme it is. You're still supposed to beat your man and do your assignment, and I didn't feel like we did that very well.
Another event that took place over the weekend, the Tennessee game, that was not a very pretty sight with Tennessee throwing the stuff on the field. They only fined them $250,000. That should have been a more heavier fine, don't you think?
Yeah, probably so.
Jeez.
That's something that I trust our commissioner. He does a phenomenal job. But yeah, it was an ugly scene, something you don't need in college football, and hopefully that never happens again.
Yeah, of course. We hope it don't happen again either. Speaking of the commissioner, he made some moves, bringing in 2 new teams into the SEC in a couple of years, Oklahoma and Texas. Do you like this?
Well, I don't like any of the expansion. I'd love to go back to the SEC when I was growing up. But
yeah, me too.
And if you are going to have expansion, gosh, you couldn't have brought 2 better brands and 2 better programs into the conference, and it's just going to make it much more difficult.
Yeah, and I think especially with the money that they're putting in, it's gonna be a plus for them. So, what tell us a little bit about what's going on with you for the future and the Gators in Georgia next week. Do you see any personnel changes happening?
Like I said, I don't know. I don't know our roster that well. I just, most of the coaches that I play for, if you're not doing your job, they give somebody else another opportunity. I know Coach Spurrier was like that a lot. So, we'll see. They get a bye week to play before they get ready for Georgia. Like I said, in order for us to win that game, Georgia's going to turn it over a bunch, play their worst game of the year, and we're going to play our best game we've had in many, many years.
I know you got to go because I think you're going to be doing another interview here in a few minutes. But I know some guy named Buddy Martin. I don't know if you ever heard of the guy, but I know I have. So, listen, thank you so much for joining me here tonight. It was fantastic. I hope to get you back on again, and hopefully I can get this stream y'all worked out, get you in a live picture here. So,
sounds good. I appreciate it. Take care.
Shane, thank you, sir. Bye-bye. Shane Matthews, the defensive former quarterback of the Florida Gators, who now is color analyst for the Florida Gators, and also has Matthews in the Morning podcast that you can hear on Facebook Live. Does a great job with that. Look at me and still joining me here tonight, and Len Tyndall still making some comments here. Let me do this real quick, my friend. Let me just put this back in here and turn your mic back on. Well, we heard from Shane Matthews. Your initial thoughts about what he had to say?
He, I've always respected Shane. He doesn't know this, but he was a hero. He was a hero of mine growing up as a Gator fan. The fact that he played for the Bears, he was a hero of mine growing up.
Yeah, yeah. I love Shane, and I love what he that the aspect that he brings to the game. I mean, he's fantastic. Anything that Shane talked about and Shane says, I kind of believe him, and yeah, he's right. 21 of the 49 points that they scored were off of turnovers. I mean, as we look back
If we make one, I don't mean to cut you off, but if we make one stop, we win the game.
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right. Despite the 4 turnovers, and Len Tyndall makes a comment that put the right people in. Period. Chief Borders and Dexter don't play enough. Yeah, I mean, he's right about that. Um, let's see. Emory Richardson threw 2 interceptions. Emory Jones threw 2 interceptions on the day. I mean, when you get 21 points off the interception, that's really hard to overcome. So maybe I'll give the benefit of doubt on that aspect, but still, it was not the prettiest of days that we have seen in a while. So go ahead.
By the way, I'm gonna get off, bud, because I'm kind of tired.
No, hey, that's fine, Lucas. I want to thank you for joining me tonight, and yeah, we'll hook up. We'll hook up soon. It was great having you here, listening to Shane and all. Real quick,
Next Thursday's our podcast. Next Thursday's
sure,
our podcast. If you want to join.
Yeah, we'll be sure to do that. Real quick, any other recruiting news that we know Nick Evans is supposed to announce soon? Hopefully that still comes through. Anything else, real quick?
Not that I haven't heard anything.
Okay.
So I'll keep
you
you updated.
Yeah, please do. Yeah, please do. I appreciate that. Go get some rest. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate that. Lucas Man, or as we say, Lucas the Man, joining me on this edition of the Animal Football Insider. And I want to post something here to Lynn. So let me just type this out to Lynn here. And so we don't want to post him. So Lucas Man is we're gonna say goodbye to Lucas here. I'm not gonna ban him. Go ahead and get off. You're done. Go to sleep. Thank you. Lucas the Man joining us on this edition of the Animal Football Insider. Where's it at? Oh, I left it in the other room. Okay, so the Gator hat comes off. We're going to have to put the Buccaneer hat on. Why? Because we're going to talk about the boys in pewter and orange. And that is now our beloved Tampa Bay Buccaneers. As they get ready, as we said to Shane a moment ago, as they get ready to take on the Chicago Bears this Sunday, I don't know if that game is in Soldier Field or it's in Raymond James Stadium. It is at Tampa. It is a 3:25 kickoff. CBS will have the coverage of the game. Don't know who's doing the play-by-play and color respectively, but still, it is going to be a pretty good game nevertheless. Buccaneers come in this game with the best record that they've had in quite a while. I mean, probably the best record that they've ever had. As right now they are 5-1 on the year. Never before have they been 5-1. Okay, now me being a diehard Buccaneer fan, I remember when they had as many as they won 5 games in a row. That was back in '79. They did that several times. And of course, you remember the '79 season. They won. In fact, ironically, if I'm not mistaken, during the '79 season, I think they won the NFC Championship in that reign in the big sombrero against none other than the Chicago Bears. So there's a bit of irony with all of that here. And I didn't even bother to think of. No, wait a minute, wait. Okay, all right. So I'm mistaken. Hang on here. So let's see here. I just got my things mixed up. Let's see. I want to say it was the Bears, but I could be wrong. Was it the Bears or was it the Chiefs? I don't remember. Let's see here. I should know my history like the back of my hand, you know. Um, but wasn't the Eagles? Let's see here. Kansas City Chiefs. Yes, it was against the Kansas City Chiefs. 3-0 win in Tampa Stadium before 63,000 fans to win the game. I don't know how I got that mixed up. It just amazes me. But nevertheless, the Bucs now are 5-1 on the year. They have a great opportunity to go to 6-1 on the year, and against the Bears, 3:25 kickoff time. Catch the game on CBS. We did find out that there's an injury report that is out. I'll get you that in just a minute. Not very many people are listed on it. We do know that Tom Brady is not listed on the report, as he as it looks like that he's going to be able to play in the game on Sunday. And let's see. Well, no, actually, he is listed on the injury report. Has the right thumb injury, but he still practiced. Antonio Brown, he did not practice. So did Lavonte Davis did not practice. Rob Gronkowski did not practice. O.J. Howard, he was limited in practice today. Jean-Pierre Paul still out. Ryan Suckup, he has a back injury, but they're expecting him to play. Antoine Winfield has a concussion, but he's in full participation. Richard Sherman, the cornerback for the Bucs, he has that hamstring injury. He's not expected to play in the game on this weekend. They're going to hold him out for a couple more weeks. For the Bears, big names, they've got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, which includes Jimmy Graham, the tight end. He's been limited. Khalil Mack has a foot injury. He has not practiced at all this week. That could be big. Allen Robinson, the wide receiver, was limited in play today. So they have a few injuries on their side. So it's going to be interesting to see how well these two teams match up. But even more importantly is how they respond from the game when they played in Philadelphia last Thursday night. And what a game that was for the Buccaneers to come out and win that game. These guys did not flinch. 28-22 was the final score. It wasn't the best of games, as we all know. But you know what? This team plays so well. And the defense really came to play. There's no question about it, because they limited the Philadelphia Eagles to just 213 total yards from scrimmage. Now, I've been watching Buccaneer games all my life, and I've seen this Buccaneer defense play. And I cannot remember the last time a Buccaneer defense held an opponent under 250 yards. That is just unbelievable to see that happen. So for the Buccaneers to do that against a very good Philadelphia Eagle team, who, okay, they're 2-4 on the year, okay, but they're not that bad of a team. No, they're not Dallas yet, but they're still not that bad of a team. Um, and this is interesting too. Congress is seeking documents, information from the NFL's investigation into Washington football team. Now, let's skip over the Buccaneers for just a minute. Let's talk what's going on with the National Football League. Of course, we've been gone for a week. As the lovely one and I, we went on vacation. And if you saw the pictures on Facebook, you know that we traveled all through the state of Iowa. During the course of the week, we come to find out that John Gruden, former head coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who led the Buccaneers to Super Bowl back in 2003, well, he was coaching with the Raiders. Apparently, emails had come out that has some very racial tones that were not acceptable by NFL standards. A lot of these emails were going to general manager Bruce Allen, among them, along with other people that have included Hooters owner Ed Drosty and Bob Passwaters as well. Now, those two have not commented on anything about the emails and such, but still, for the for Gruden, the Raiders didn't like it. The National Football League didn't like it, and subsequently, they fired John Gruden. He's out as head coach of the LA Raiders. You probably know that by now. John Gruden said through an interview today that the whole story has not come out yet, and he's going to tell us about that sometime soon. But it still doesn't take away from the fact that there have been some issues. Make no mistake about it. Let's see here. So that's what's going on with that situation. Now, another situation that's going on involves the Washington football team and owner Daniel Snyder. There's been a lot of conversation about him having some sexual harassment deals that's going on with them. Now, nobody released information about that situation with Daniel Snyder. Snyder volunteered to take a step back. Now, Congress wants to take a look at those documents. That's the news that came out today. So that's going to be interesting to follow as we get ready for this weekend. So that bears watching. So we've gotten into the injury reports for this weekend. Of course, the Gators don't play this weekend. They're off. Dan Mullen and company, they're out on the road recruiting. It's going to be interesting to see how many more people are going to fall by the wayside during the course of the next week to week and a half. So we're going to watch that very carefully. I'm going to turn on ProFootballTalk.com. Baker Mayfield is out of the game. He has what's called a fractured humerus. Ooh, that is not good. So let's see here. Let's see. Okay. So that's not a good thing for Baker Mayfield, and I just happened to see him on the sidelines on headsets. And of course, I told you about John Gruden. He was on HBO saying, "quote The truth will come out." So we're going to see what happens with that. All right, let's get you set up for what's going to be happening this weekend in college football. And really, truthfully, there are some outstanding games that's going to be happening. Tulane right now is against SMU. Right now they're against SMU. That game's going on right now. Arkansas State against the state of Louisiana. San Jose State at UNLV. That's tonight. Washington against Arizona. That's going to be a good game tomorrow night. It's Saturday. Has Oklahoma playing against Kansas. Northwestern will be on the road against Michigan. Illinois, they're traveling to take on Penn State. That's going to be on ABC. UMass against Florida State. We don't care about Florida State, do we? No, we don't. Number 8, Oklahoma State takes on Iowa State. That will be a 2:30 game Central Time on Fox Sports. Let's see. Ole Miss will be at home against LSU. That's going to be an interesting game. Hopefully, we see the popcorn flies. We see popcorn be flying around left and right. And Mississippi State against Vanderbilt. That's a 3:30 game. Texas will be Alabama will be at home against Tennessee. South Florida will be at home against Temple. South Florida's not been playing well this year. They really need to pick it up a little bit. Ohio State will be at Indiana. That'll be on ABC. North Carolina State will be at Miami. Boy, Manny Diaz last week in the post game was shaking hands with his opposing coach, and he wanted to get away from there. And you go YouTube and check it out. You can tell he wanted to just get away from it. So that's what's happening with them. By the way, keep in mind about Manny Diaz. He could be a front runner for the defensive coordinator job once Grantham leaves. But my sources tonight are telling me that it's going to be Charlie Strong. Let's hope and pray, because Charlie Strong right now is the defensive coordinator with the Jacksonville Jaguars. And speaking of the National Football League, we got some games happening this Sunday, none of which of least, let's see here. I don't want that. That's what I want right there. Games that's going to be happening this Sunday. Green Bay be home against the Redskins. Miami's at home against Atlanta. There are reports tonight that Miami and the Texans are talking trade about Deshaun Watson going to the Miami Dolphins. If that would happen, what's the future of Tua? Would you say Tua? Cannot pronounce last name. Jets against the Patriots. Philadelphia against Las Vegas. Rich Bisaccia, by the way, he is the new interim head coach of the LA Raiders, or should we say the Raiders. Bears at the Bucs. San Francisco at home against Indianapolis. That's on Sunday Night Football. Monday night's matchup is going to be the Saints at the Seattle Seahawks. And teams that have byes this week are Buffalo, Dallas, Minnesota, Pittsburgh, Los Angeles, and Jacksonville. Those are your 5 teams that will be off for this week. Let's see here. Okay. So that's what's going on within the confines of the college football and the National Football League. Let's see here. And we have the Animal Football Insider, like to bring you the best of everything, whether it be football, Gators, Bucs, and you know what? We even talk a little bit of baseball here, because I tell you right now, there's some baseball that's happening right now. The Dodgers are up on the Braves, 3-2. They're in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Braves win it tonight. They would move on to the NLCS championship to take on whoever the other team is. But that's what's going on with Major League Baseball right now. Now, let's set the stage for you right now. Oh, by the way, one other bit of news that came out this week: the Iowa Barnstormers have named their new head coach. His name is Dave Moggensen. Or actually, let me get the right pronunciation. I don't want to be accused of not getting the right pronunciation. Is Mogensen. Let's see here. Yeah, his name is David Mogensen. He is the new head coach of the Iowa Barnstormers. Formerly was head coach or assistant head coach in the NAL, which stands for North American League. It's a different form of football within the confines of Indoor Football League. And oh, by the way, speaking of Indoor Football League, next week it is expected to be announced that the league will come out with the schedule for the year. When that happens, Animal Football Insider will bring that to you as well. But next week, we have Barnstormers' new head coach, Dave Markinson. He'll be with us to talk about the upcoming season, what his expectations are for the year, what kind of roster he wants to have on the team, and other things, because, of course, we like to bring it all to you here tonight on the Animal Football Insider. Waiting to see if anybody has any questions in the chat room. You're more than welcome to ask questions if you want to. We have a few minutes left here. Let's see here. Checking things out right now. Don't see anything right now. Oh, by the way, I don't know if you caught this, but if you notice here, let me move out of the way. I have a gnome, a Florida Gator gnome. It is so cool. In fact, hang on just a second. Hang on. Okay. This is my Florida Gator Christmas gnome right here. Okay. I want to move back here so you guys can take a good look at it. And I want to thank my good friend Peter Galens, who made that possible for me. Might have to set that back here a little bit. And I want to thank Peter for doing that for me. And I really do appreciate him doing that. Okay. So we have everything lined up, ready to go for next week. We'll be back 7:30 p.m. Central Time. Be sure to join us. We're going to have a dandy of a good time. And as we sign you out, you all take care. God bless. As I always like to say, go Bucs. And with that, good night, everybody.
Thank you for watching Animal Football Insider. Be sure to join us every Thursday night here on Facebook Live.